Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dice Cast. I am Russell-san, and with me I have.
Fishman.
Well, last we left off, Aquans and Jonas were continuing their adventures along the plains north of the plateau towards the Elven lands. After a slight detour in the underground, came back above ground and came across what appeared to be an archaeological dig site surrounding an ice cave in the middle of the temperate grasslands in the height of spring.
Yeah.
Needless to say, this was a little confusing for our adventurers, and they decided to investigate. They were not alone, however. A group of knights, led by a nobleman by the name of Duke Buckman, also came there. They were able to work together for a little bit until the cold, which proved to get extremely approaching extreme low temperatures as they entered the cave.
Yeah, the first time you felt the cold.
Yeah. The knights were forced to withdraw in order to see their lord, and they entered the underground temple within. They searched the temple and found evidence that a cult had once presided there, and they had, through magical means, summoned a Zakum, a diabolic tree from the lower plains to there, and with it summoned the infernal magical cold of Cania, the eighth circle of hell, which the plant was native to. Needless to say, our wizards needed to shut this down, prevent more victims from this diabolic tree from drinking the blood and consuming the souls of innocent mortals. Thinking quickly, they used quite a bit of magical fire to destroy it, including a fire elemental, and they were able to, through means of their research and dispel magic, disable the majority of the glyphs within the temple that was keeping the magical cold permanent. By estimations, within a few more days, the glyphs would fail altogether, and the climate in the area would eventually return to normal. And we parted ways with the Buckmen and the Knights, and we continued on our journey. And I believe we were about ready to make camp when we last ended, so I'll turn it over to you.
Buckman and the Nice sounds like some sort of band.
Sorry, sounds like a band name.
Yeah, it's like some sort of band. Yes, we were making camp, if I remember correctly, at the end of our last session.
Yes.
So why don't you roll some survival checks and see if we can find a nice quiet place to have a camp.
All right. That's 22.
Oh, we find a great spot. 22 is lovely.
Yeah, we don't find any more diabolic ice caves.
Nope, we find a nice little copse of trees, a nice little babbling brook. So we get some fresh water and set up a nice fire, have a nice camp. Is there anything you want to do during this camp?
Well, we did get some potions and some scrolls from that temple.
Yeah, so you should probably properly identify all that.
Yeah, so I can do that quickly for you if you want.
Yeah, that's the montage of that.
All right. Well, starting with the scrolls, there were three of them, and they were all relatively thematic to the temple itself.
Right.
The first one was Ice Knife,
Mhm.
which is a first level conjuration spell that conjures like a dagger like shard of ice, which is then magically thrown and detonates upon
Yep.
contact. I might want to add that to my spellbook. The next one was Flock of Familiars, which fits in with the whole summoning theme, also conjuration based. It basically lets you summon up to three familiars for an hour and they run around. If you have a familiar, though, your familiar automatically counts as one of the three that's summoned.
Right.
So it's not quite as good for us, but it might come in handy. You never know.
Mm.
And the third is probably a staple that would be needed there, protection from energy. Because they probably need protection from cold magic until they're able to create some lasting protection for themselves against the infernal cold.
They didn't do them any good. They're all dead.
True. Well, who knows if it was the cultists or the scholars there that were brought these scrolls and potions with them. We don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of the potions, two of them were regular potions of healing, and two were greater potions of healing.
Yep.
And at your suggestion, I've added them to my supply.
You're the one down hit points at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you also used up a few potions that.
I did. Yes, I used a few of them.
couple sessions ago.
Yeah. The remaining six that we found, the blue ones, were potions for protection from cold. So, in theory, we could have given those to the knights, and they would have still been able to travel with us.
Yeah, they just get in the way.
So, those are what the potions are. So, you still have the potions of cold resistance for the time being. Of the scrolls, Ice Knife is probably the only one that's of real interest to me. Flocker Familiars can occasionally come in handy, but it's not one I want to add to my spellbook. And as for protection from energy, well, we'll see. I already have two resist. I'm already resistant to two of the damage types it gives,
Yeah,
and you have your stone.
yeah. Where's my stone?
So we'll identify all those. That's however long that takes.
That will take up a good chunk of the evening.
Yeah.
There's my stone. I haven't shown it
Yes.
on camera in a while. All right. So that will take us past supper and into the evening. Anything else before we start our night shift?
Well, I might want to. I'm probably going to want to copy Ice Knife into my spellbook because it's a first level spell. I can easily do that on my watch.
I think it's my turn to start the first watch, so I will do that.
All right.
Those are terrible numbers. But fortunately, it is a quiet evening for me.
Fortunately, we have a merciful DM for the moment.
It won't last.
No.
So I wake you up for your half of the shift, and I go and sleep.
And it obviously goes without saying, after everything we've experienced recently, alarms, familiars, and the hut.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
usual night routine.
yes. I know we don't mention it all the time, but it's
No, but just to remind everyone, we're doing that even when we don't say it because, well, experience has taught us to be cautious.
things happen.
Yes. A few nights ago, it's proven that.
Yeah,
We woke up in the underground.
yeah. Yeah, that's because someone fell asleep on his watch.
I'm not entirely sure that's completely my fault. I'm not sure what we could have done to mitigate that, even if we were awake.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
All right.
um,
So, you
so
wake me for my watch.
you
Summon
can work.
Alice.
You can roll your perception checks, and then you can work on your
Scroll, which I have to roll for as well.
yeah.
It is
Yeah.
only a first level scroll, though.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, let's start with the perception check.
Hmm.
Well, the advantage negates a natural one. So, that's a total of 20.
More than good enough. You are wide awake. The sleep did you well.
All right.
Yeah. Roll now for your scroll.
All right, so before I even roll, I have to mark off the 50 gold pieces worth of ink and paper
Yep.
and the scroll itself because those are consumed, no
Yep.
matter how the roll goes.
Do
And
you
I'm
have
just
any portents left?
no, no, I
No.
don't. We use those all up in our morning's activities.
This is just a straight roll for you then.
Yes, it is only an 11.
You can roll under six.
Yes, and I do roll under six.
What? Seriously?
I roll a total of 10.
Oh, there's a scroll and paper and ink wasted.
Yep. Well, so much for adding that to my spellbook easily.
Yeah. That's the first, I think that's the first time
That
that's
is the
happened.
first fail from transcribing from a scroll in this campaign. Yes,
Yeah. And it's a first level one.
that's adding even sadder.
Well, you're
So,
you're stewing over your frustration
yep.
and oh, I'm gonna say a few hours since your shift. We're gonna talk about maybe two 2 hours until dawn,
All right,
and you notice something kind of a flickering light in the woods.
all right. Well,
And it seems to be getting a little bit more persistent. And you realize the flickering is not so much because it itself is flickering, but because it's moving through the branches. So every now and then it disappears and comes into view. And it's getting a little bit closer. We'll work off the 20 you had, which is fine for
mhm.
perception. You notice it is a figure of a woman, a young woman, uh, kind of giving off a pale light and most definitely translucent.
Okay, so some sort of ghost, I suspect.
And it seems to be at this point, it was initially just going around in the woods, but now it's heading directly towards the hut.
Well, as far as we know, the hut keeps out ghosts.
It keeps out pretty much anything that we don't want to come in.
That cannot dispel it, which
No,
could be.
it's possible. We don't
It is
know.
possible, yes.
So anyway, this apparition
Mhm.
gets within, oh, about 10, 15 feet of the hut.
At which point my alarm should be triggered.
And, well, you already knew it's here,
Yeah,
so
I know
that's
it's here. It's a mental
accurate.
alarm, but I just does it trigger my alarm?
Yes, it does.
All right.
And it
That rules out
is,
an illusion of some sort.
it's looking kind of weird because it's not sure. And then it makes eye contact with you
Through the hut.
through the hut. And then it starts to speak. You don't hear a thing. It is going to require a intelligence roll for you to understand what it's trying to communicate to you.
All right.
Hopefully, you roll better than the scroll number.
It is better, yes. 14.
All right, it's not. It's speaking common,
Yeah,
and you do recognize the words. You are now basically lip reading this creature.
yes.
It is begging you for help and is pointing in a given direction, which is not exactly on our path. It's a little bit off our path,
Mhm.
and it says all for well the basics of it that you can gather with that roll is help my sister and pointing towards a town. So you gather from what is obviously saying a lot more than this, but what do you get for that roll? That's pretty
Yes.
good. So you gather that it wants your help
Mhm.
or her sister and in that direction towards her town. This goes on for maybe 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It was hard to say because you're focusing, trying to understand what she's trying to say. And all of a sudden, she bursts into flames and is in total horrid agony, as you would imagine someone would be who caught on fire. And in short order, like in less than a minute,
Mhm.
she is a charred corpse, still translucent. And the last thing you see is her agony is her pointing towards that town. And then she crumbles into dust and
All right.
is gone.
The apparition crumbles into dust,
Yeah,
bursting
it's
into
all
flames.
it is all, you know, ethereal, but it
Yes.
has that effect.
All right. Well, I know ghosts are not inherently evil. They are echoes of the people they were in life, so they maintain whatever alignment they were when they were alive, basically, when they died.
Yep.
So it is not unheard of for a ghost to ask for assistance like this.
Yep. And you gather she herself was not really that old, roughly our age, early 20s at the most. Can you roll one more intelligence check, please?
Sure. Oh, this is the best one yet. 22.
Part of the message was her catching on fire. The message is basically uh, a warning of well, first off, what happened to her
And what
and
will happen to her sister, presumably, if we do not
what
help?
may be happening to her sister. Yes.
All right. Well, I guess visual representations that isn't too uncommon when dealing with spirits.
Yeah, at least it didn't do some of the ones we've seen in modern fiction where you get to feel it all.
Hmm.
But no, it was rather graphic, but it got the message across.
Hmm. Rolling off of that 22 there, the message, did it seem like this was like urgent, like we need to leave immediately now? Or is it something that can wait till morning?
It is rare
Yeah.
uh, that people are, you know, what assumed like burned, set afire
Mhm.
in the middle of the night,
No.
especially when it's like 4 in the morning. If this was something they're going to do at midnight, it's too late.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we don't know where the village is, and finding it in the dark is probably not the best option.
no, we're going to roll off your intelligence check for in the morning to pick the direction,
Yeah.
and then we'll do a couple of survival checks for us to get there.
All right.
For the most part, we know roughly where we're going. Uh, I'll ask for an insight check just to give you see if we can get any more detail into that.
All right. Insight. 11.
Kind of middling,
Yeah.
but she is human. And you've dealt with lots of humans in your life on the plateau.
Yeah.
And lots of humans, and well, everywhere we go, they're bloody well
Yes.
everywhere. Um, she's honest, you think,
Okay.
and also you think she um, is being really emphatic, but mostly because it's her sister. You're not sure if it's, you know, really, really time sensitive or she's just trying, like, this is my sister. Get off your butts and go do this. You don't,
Yeah.
so you can't tell, especially that role.
Yeah. Well, I take the logical point of view that our best chance of helping her sister will be in the morning when we are well rested.
And we can see where we're going.
Yes, well, we have ways of seeing in the dark. That's not the issue. Traveling by night, even with magic, is not the easiest thing to do.
No. And if you really, really want to rush in a particular direction, we have ways of doing that as well.
Yes. However, we are still partially spent from having to deal with that temple.
Yes,
We
you
needed
are.
to dispel a number of those glyphs.
Yeah. You are actually not that bad off now because you've had a good
Yes.
chunk of your rest. I, of course, am just still asleep.
Yeah, so I think we'll let this wait till morning then.
All right. Dawn arises.
So we do get a long rest. Yay!
Yep. You have all your spells back.
I heal a bit more from my injuries from we've been having over our travels.
Seeing how we passed dawn, I will roll for the Ring of the Ram.
Yeah, my potion's back.
And I have a fully recharged Ring of the Ram now.
Yep. I do not know Ice Knife, so I cannot compare that.
No.
And I get two new portals.
I will reattune to the Ring of the Ram.
You didn't even get to really use the Ring of Spellstoring.
No, it didn't come up, but that's fine.
All right. And over breakfast, I will fill you in about our midnight visit by the ghost,
Yes.
which you slept through.
Which I slept through. Well, she was doing a pantomime, not
Yeah.
like there's any kind of visuals to this. Kind of interesting that she could see through the hut.
Hmm. Well, spirits don't necessarily see in the same way that we do anyway, so.
Yeah, she may have had, this is just me guessing, some sort of magical talent when she was alive.
And she did burn, at least in the in her honest description of the trouble that her sister was in, apparently. So we could be looking at some sort of witch trial situation, possibly.
Oh, joy.
In which case, us showing up may not be the most helpful thing, except for the fact that we actually can probably put each
Yeah,
other.
I'd like to see them try and burn us.
Yes. Yeah, the main difference between us and the usual approach to witch trials and burnings at the stake is we can very easily defend ourselves and are completely willing to.
Yeah. So I assume by those words that you're in the same frame of mind as I am about making sure this young lady doesn't get burned at the stake.
Well, I think we should at least find out what's going on.
All right.
Yeah.
We will
We
work
don't know
off.
what's going on exactly for the moment, except for the fact that what appeared to be a ghost. showed up in the middle of the night and honestly and earnestly asked us to help her sister and gave vague directions and a warning.
All right, we are going to work off your intelligence roll for the direction,
Yep, my intelligence roll for her very vague directions.
but we are going to require survival checks to actually manage to head in the right direction.
With your assistance.
Yes.
Okay. Well, survival is not my strong suit, but that's a 13.
All right, so we start heading off through the woods,
And presumably roughly the right direction.
and yeah, I will send. Oh, by the way, peoples, I
Oh,
just
that's right, you named your owl finally.
gave my owl a name. Tobias. Tobias is going to fly up ahead and see if there is anything in that direction.
Yep,
And in very short order, because owls fly faster than we can walk through the woods,
a very good eyesight.
very good eyesight, a village is spotted.
Yep.
Not too far off. We're at dawn, but this is spring, so we're looking at we'll probably get there roughly 7, 8 o'clock, if depending on
All right,
how-
so let's course correct towards that village
Yep, it's
and
still at
follow
dawn.
your owl.
Yep. So we do so.
Mhm.
It makes things a lot simpler. We don't need any more survival checks. Are we picking up the pace, or are we just walking normally?
I did get the sense that we were fine to wait till morning, but we probably are pushing it now. We might want to pick up the pace.
All right. I pop into my owl's senses for a moment,
Yeah,
and I do report that there does seem to be a crowd gathering.
that's not a good sign.
Yep. So I would appreciate a constitution check, please. We'll see if
Yeah,
we can actually do this properly. Oh, that's terrible.
mine's worse.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a natural one.
Oh, God.
So we trip and fall, and
We are staggering along. I guess breakfast didn't agree with
yeah,
us. We probably ate too quickly or something, and we are not getting there any faster.
you
Okay.
could turn into something and carry me there.
Yes, I could do that. It
That
won't
would
cost.
certainly make an impression. That we're
Uh,
always looking to do.
well, I can do it for free now, so
Yes.
I will use my free polymorph for the day and turn into a giant eagle.
Yep. Pick me up. I say, might be good to land outside the city.
That's not okay. Um,
Village, sorry.
yeah, I will. Well, this is going to take no time at all now, so I will
Yeah.
click to the next image.
Yep, that looks like a crowd gathering around something.
Yep. As we are coming from the bottom,
Yep.
because it's always amazing that we're always coming from the bottom of an image.
Mm.
So you see what looks to be a farm village
Yep.
with a very large structure in the middle, and also some kind of platform, an obelisk-like thing. And yes, there's a definite mob there. And with my keen eagle ears, I can hear them chanting, "Burn her."
Ah,
So
never
now,
mind. We might need to land right in the village square.
okay. All right, I would like from you a no advantage perception check, please.
Well, without advantage, that's a 9.
Never mind.
Yeah.
We sail into the town. Let's just see if anybody notices us.
We are going for that at this point, I suspect.
There is a shriek from some woman who was in the middle of just, getting into the frenzy of a mob
Yeah.
and sees a giant eagle basically coming in for a landing in their small village with a blue-skinned and robed figure riding on its back.
Yes.
She's, well, let's see if she holds it together or not. She doesn't faint.
Hmm.
She screeches, points in our direction, which all of a sudden gets everybody's attention. They all look around, and then they see us. Where would you like me to land?
Can I see at this point if there's someone tied to that obelisk or structure or something? Anything that looks like
Okay.
a
At
poor
this
woman being burned alive at the stake?
okay. At this point, we're a lot closer. We're
Hmm.
coming in for a landing.
Yeah.
I would like another perception check again. Again, no advantage because it's just too tight of a time frame.
All right. Well, this one's really good. Yeah, 26.
Okay. Yes. Now that we're here, we're wide awake, we see what's going on. We sail over that building. We go to land in where this. I keep pointing with my fingers. We sail over here, and we're going to go land on this obelisk platform-like thing.
Yeah.
We notice there is bundles of wood tied around it. No young lady at the moment,
No, I'm
but it's
tired
a
of that.
little high. And you notice coming from uh, it's hard to tell. One of these buildings, there's two guys leading a struggling, very young lady, probably mid-teens.
Mhm.
Uh, she is freaking out, and they're leading her this way. At this point, they're not moving anymore because we are landing in the middle of, well, their little
Yeah.
witch burning. We'll just call it that.
Yeah, we'll call it what it is. It's a witch trial. Well, no, probably it's past the trial. Well, I don't know. Sometimes the trials weren't survivable. So sometimes the trial was the execution.
Well, let's just say whether or not they had any, ordeal or
Yeah.
anything, they've come to a conclusion to get rid of her. And right now they're all really freaking out.
Well, we've been here before in this situation. We tried to prevent it. We prevented it last time,
Yes.
and we were much lower level then.
So yeah, we have a,
We have a history against this sort of thing.
well, yeah, we don't put up with this crap.
No,
So you rolled a 20 what?
26.
Okay. These look like your common everyday dirt commoners. They're
Yeah,
just farmers. Women, children, and believe it or not.
yeah,
And there's some guys there as well, most of them with, you know, farm implements. And there's two individuals that seem to have torches. I assume that they are going to be lighting the fire.
yeah.
And you have another gentleman who has a very ornate broad scepter. Not sure what it is.
Okay,
And
not a
he,
full staff. You mean though?
no, he seems to be maybe in,
Possibly a magistrate, or I suspect possibly some sort of presiding priest.
yeah. So momentarily, like as we land,
I assume we have everyone's attention.
oh yeah, we have everyone's rapt attention and kind
Well,
of, kind of not sure what to do. Uh, this has never happened before.
yeah. Well, I'm going to take the advantage of this current moment of confusion, and I'm going to say at the top of my lungs, "Who's in charge here?"
All right. Actually, I would like you to roll. That sounds like intimidation.
Well, yes, it is kind of what I'm going for. Can I have advantage because I have a giant eagle that I'm riding?
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure I've already succeeded in intimidating them. Okay, well, the advantage helped. 19. Some people might faint.
Well,
Do I accidentally give some of them heart attacks?
no, but you do smell some urine, believe it or
Yeah,
not. And it's coming from the guy that everyone seems to be pointing trembling hands at.
yeah. Oh, just for effect, I have my hood up just to
Yeah.
just to add to the ominous wizard look.
All right. So the guy with the scepter, who's now decided to empty his bladder,
Yeah.
uh, where everyone's pointing to, it seems to be the guy in charge.
My eyes go and follow and lock on his, which just I'm just adding that to the part of the intimidation check.
Okay. Um, he says he's really shook.
Yeah.
He's stammering at this point and doesn't understand. Like he's
What's
trying
going
to he's trying to get his courage up to ask you, why are you here and interrupting with their ceremony, or sorry, their legal
Yeah.
um, business? But
So he's pulling
he's
a star scream and asking me who dares interrupt his coronation. And everyone who gets that reference is probably knows what I'm going for to happen next. You don't, unfortunately. Let's just say it didn't end well.
he's he is. How much time are you giving this guy?
Well, if I wait too long, the impact of all this is going to end.
Hey, it's gonna take however just rolled for it again. He does eventually get his composure back because so far you haven't blown him up.
Oh, just to be clear, I haven't gotten off your back yet because it might be advantageous to take off into the air as a giant, riding on the back of a giant eagle.
All right. He eventually gets some sort of spine solidified,
Yeah.
and he says, "We, um, as a community, have had a trial and found that this girl's family are practicing witchcraft, and we have had enough of sorcery and magic in this town to last a lifetime. And
Well, I
we are
have bad news for you.
we're purging our town." And a few of the members in the mob are now saying, "Yes, burn the witch, burn all magic users."
Yeah, I say, well, I have bad news for the two for you all. Says because I'm here at the behest of, I presume, one of the this young lady's previous siblings whom you've already burned alive to put a stop to this. Says, it's up to you how the rest of this goes. This can either end civilly or, and I leave that open ended.
Okay, guy's got his calm back. He's
Yes.
so
And I've
um,
rolled the best intimidation check of my life, so I'm probably not going to be able to do better than that.
he seems. Go for an insight check, please. Just
Sure.
so you can spot this.
19. Pretty good with insight.
Very good insight because this guy doesn't have a poker face.
Yeah.
He has this look about him that he is going to try something in a few seconds. Before you get to your response, like if you're
Yeah.
going to do something preemptively, I would like uh, one more perception check for you for your surroundings.
Sure. 21
Ah, you're finally rolling really well.
when it counts.
I'm going to give you a few details here.
Okay.
Uh, the people are people.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a couple of guys in there that seem a little less than pleasant, but most of them are just people.
Yeah, but this is a village. You end up with less than pleasant people in any village. We had
Yeah.
Bilious in ours.
Yeah. Now, what you're standing on, and what I'm standing on, which is underneath
Yeah,
you,
I'm sitting on you.
is a metal platform.
Mhm.
This is unusual because this is a village of wood and thatch and shingles and everything
Except
else.
for the big, I assume that's a temple.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
And in the center it's not really an obelisk, it is a metal pole that goes all the way up, and it's very sharp at the top. And yes, there's a bunch of bundles of stuff, but you also notice, because you rolled really well, there are round holes
Oh,
in
is this some sort of big furnace?
There's some round holes, not big holes, like little, like almost nozzle shaped, shall we say,
Uh,
if you use a modern term, uh, in a pattern on the platform that we are standing. I'm standing on, and you're on me.
yes.
The other thing you notice with that is the architecture of that church is very familiar. We've never seen one completed, but we've seen a great number of them under construction.
Is
This
this um following Court of the Seven architecture?
very much so. In seeing how you really rolled well, you do notice the emblems. This is a Clockwork Soul church,
All right.
and
But I
there's
don't see any sorcerers at the moment.
not a one. You also notice the building, the church. All the other ones have been almost all stonework. This one is stone and metal.
Yep. Well, we're in a very similar situation that we were into not too long ago.
Yep. And this one here
Is,
is fully completed
yeah,
and looks like it's been here a while.
and it's been occupied basically.
Yes.
Well, now at least I know what sort of level of hypocrisy I'm dealing with here.
So the gentleman with the staff is backing up a little bit from you because I think you scared the crap out of him.
All
At
right.
least he's the P.
The person leading the girl by the chain, there's someone like
No,
there?
there's two guys. They have one on each arm. She's tied up with ropes.
Okay, right, ropes. Okay. I'm going to, just as a display in case this isn't completely obvious at this point, how far away are they?
Okay. We are right here on top of this,
Yeah.
talking to this guy. And imagine her and them just at the back of this crowd here. So they're roughly um 30 to 50 feet away.
All right, that's within close enough. All right, I'm going to extend my hand out with my fingers spread, and I'm going to unleash a streaking ray of frost. Not anyone in particular, just the ground,
Okay.
basically, because it's a targeted spell. So
All
I
right.
just want to blast the ground right in front of those two.
You haven't done this since the plateau.
I know it's kind of bringing it back, because I did know ray of frost then.
Yeah.
I don't suppose I really need to roll an attack roll to hit the ground, do I?
I want you to roll an attack roll just
The,
so we don't hit anybody.
well, I rolled a 10, and I think I get to add 10.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you rolled a one, someone might die.
Yep, so I got to release the blue ray of frost, strike the ground, and cause ice to basically frost and ice to crystallize across the ground where it strikes just in front of those two.
All right.
And
Okay. This is what happens. One of them lets her go and runs.
yeah,
The other one, you just he looks really angry now.
it says, "Let that girl go. I do not recognize the authority of anyone who bows to these false gods." I say at the top of my lungs.
Okay. Now I want half the
That's it.
crowd
Yeah,
is running away.
yeah,
Half the crowd is pretty good.
yeah,
They're kind of they're not sure what to think. They've
yeah.
seen magic before,
And
and
this is simple. And
and
I
this
did that like it was nothing.
so this is they're not sure what they're going to do yet, but
Yeah,
they're thinking about it.
yeah,
Half they're just flaying.
yeah.
Now I want you to roll a perception check. No advantage or anything. This is for something else completely different.
Okay. That's not the best. 12.
Let's see if he can do that. You do, yeah, you kind of catch this. The guy that's in charge leaps back off the platform and then
I fully expect this platform to be used to attack us at some point.
holds up his staff, pointing at the hole, and says, "What languages do you know?"
I know Common, Gnomish, and Primordial (brackets Aquan). So,
No, I don't think this is going to work. It's a
and
language you don't know.
it's
Says
not some sort of. command word or spell that I recognize.
Um, well, all right, go for an Arcana check because you might have heard of these things before. So it's unlikely.
Well, that's a really low roll.
Never mind then.
12 again.
Yeah, unless it's in the 20s. No, you kind of think maybe it has something to do because he's pointing what looks like could be some sort of magical staff at some sort of magical thing,
Yeah.
but you don't know. But at this point, we feel a little bit of rumbling underneath our feet.
Well, I assume that you're going to take to the air from that.
Well, we are going to go for
Oh, initiative.
nope, we're going to go for dexterity saving throws.
All right. I'm on your back. I
Um,
don't know how that translates into this.
I don't know either. You can try and do a diving roll off, or you can just rely on whatever I'm going to do.
I suppose I can't wait to see how yours goes. I have to do mine now.
No, no, this is instantaneous. You got to make
Okay.
a decision right
I
now.
will roll a saving throw on my own then, in the case.
All right, you go for it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
All right. I rolled a 12.
All right, I rolled 18, so I
Yeah.
succeed. And
I take it that means I failed.
yeah, basically, as you're trying to dive off my back, I shoot up past
Yeah.
you. And what happens is those nozzles are now shooting fire up.
I thought that was going to be the case.
Yeah. And I would like you now to you failed that saving throw. Actually, that's actually not that bad. Don't worry about that. I'll just roll damage.
Yeah.
It's uh, you take 7 points of fire damage.
Well, so I'm down more than I just gained back this long rest. That's annoying.
Yeah. So
I get up and I pat out the flames as I step out of them. Does that annoy them? That's probably going to freak them out a little bit.
yeah, um, Buddy Boy, who's issued whatever that was,
Yeah.
um, he's not happy,
Yeah.
but he's got his spine back. We'll see how long this
Let's see
lasts.
how long that lasts. Yeah. So you're in
Uh,
the air.
I flew up and I'm now going to circle back around.
Yeah.
I would like to roll. All right. He's going to do something, but you may have a chance to prevent this. So I want a contested dexterity roll.
Sure. Just dexterity. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you really, really whiff this.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah, well, the campaign standard works.
Yeah.
You roll a 3. He does have a bit of a modifier, but he is pointing the staff at the column one more time.
Am
And
I still standing on it?
no, 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 you'd be on fire.
Yeah. So
You did a diving roll off.
I'm confused by what he's doing.
You is that your response to this?
Uh,
It is a valid response.
yeah.
Confusion.
Confusion? This, yes, I think it's a little bit. Uh, I mean, I could hurl in a massive spell and kill all these people with ease. And probably him included. Maybe not. Well, maybe not him. He might be a little limb. Who knows? But I don't think that's going to help necessarily. So I'm going to wait and see what happens.
All right. I guess that contested dexterity check was not important then.
Yeah.
He utters a command word. I
Okay.
would like you to roll a Arcana check, please.
Right, that's much better this time. 24.
All right. You don't know the word,
No,
but you know the effect. You know he is triggering the staff or sort of rod, scepter, whatever. And now
that is an important distinction.
it is, sorry, yeah, it is, for all intents and purposes, a scepter.
Yes. So yes, a rod would probably be the closest equivalent.
Yeah. And you feel a very familiar from a day ago surge of magic. when I summoned something.
Oh, he's summoning something.
Yep.
Oh,
And all of a sudden, the fire
yeah,
takes a very familiar form.
so I see the fire elemental forming behind me, presumably.
To the side more, but yes, you
Yeah,
see a fire elemental forming,
yeah,
and you see a smug look on somebody's face, and me, who is now at this point realizing what's going on, coming to land roughly near where you are.
yeah. I point directly at him as he says, and I say, "Hypocrite."
And he says, "Kill him!"
I see we're going for initiative.
Yeah. He doesn't know that I'm anything but a
Giant eagle, yes. They all
pet.
think you're a bird.
Yeah. So at this point, I am not part of, you know, that. I'm just him. It's him as you, and
Yes.
I am.
A bird. But you're still in the initiative order.
I guarantee I will not be attacking this thing as a bird.
Well, I'm I'm conflicted here. On the one hand, I really want to kill him.
All right, I
On the
will.
other hand, if I do that, and this is an ordinary, conjure elemental spell,
Yep,
that thing's just going to attack the nearest non-elemental, and which will be some random villager, I suspect,
or me.
or you. Yes, but that's the point. It's just going to go. It's just going to go wild and do what fire does, which is burn.
Oh, +3 on that. That's 14. All right, dude. Oh. What is your initiative?
13.
You are going just before the fellow who summoned this thing,
Yeah.
which is first in the order is me. Unfortunately, I'm an eagle. And it's going to take me an action to
No, no, it doesn't.
No?
Polymorph. You can just stop concentrating on it.
Oh. All right. I will
I
stop.
recommend you land first.
I will stop concentrating, and well, actually, what I'll do is I'll land.
Yes. See?
And then I'll stop concentrating, and then what I'll do. That's all. I want to see if he responds to this. The smug smile has disappeared. Is that anything? Because now there's two of us,
Yep.
and it's a fire elemental. And most of my stuff is crap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a first level spell slot, and I'm going to use a meta magic point. And you see a little diamond in my hand.
Yep, you're.
I am going to twin cast chromatic orb or cold.
Yep.
And let's see if we can do something about this thing.
I don't know if fire elementals are vulnerable to cold or not.
No.
No, they're not.
One of them hits. Not sure how it goes. Oh, they both hit. I love my new modifiers. Alright, so that is going to be a whole pile of d8s.
Yep.
For a first level spell, I do 29 points of cold damage to an elemental.
That's pretty good.
But,
We know from our experience with this thing very recently, it's a lot tougher than that, though.
oh yeah, we know that it's not going to fall apart for 29 points of damage, but it's a good chunk.
Yeah.
And I wave to the guy. Yeah, there's two of this.
Well, I say to you, you might be adding a few more emblems to your collection here.
Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't notice anybody though.
No. I assume that's your turn.
Yeah. I also we need some of these guys alive. Just because
Yeah, well, I mean, yes.
we need to know what's going on here.
I think our first goal is not to just kill everyone normally. But yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Who's next in initiative?
The elemental.
Joy.
He has a 50-foot move rate.
He has a 50-foot move rate, and he was instructed to kill me.
So, first thing it does is come and occupy your square where you
Yep,
are.
because you can do that.
Yep.
So I'm on fire.
So you are currently on fire. You
Yep.
immediately take
A D10 fire damage.
I think it's a D. I might
Yeah,
have
D10.
modified. Hold on a second. I might have modified this.
Oh.
Okay. I'll just roll that. So you immediately take 3 points of damage. You are now on fire.
Yep.
And he is going to try and, hit you. Wow. Touch you.
Yes.
Kind of weird that they say that, but it is touch.
It is. All he has to do is touch me and set me on fire.
Well, one is in the 20s, so that hits you. It would be a 25 to hit you.
Well, yeah, it obviously hits.
And the other one is a 10, so that misses.
So that misses. Okay. I'm only getting hit once. That's nice.
And you are taking. That's 8. 11 points of fire damage.
Ow. Well, this kind of puts a issue in my plans.
Now, your view of him is obscured now.
Because I'm on fire.
Yes. It's kind of hard to see what's going on when you're literally in a fire.
Yes, but I presume I know where the fire elemental is.
Yeah, he's all around you.
Yeah.
It is now your turn.
Alright, I will step out of the fire elemental, which is an odd saying, which does not leave his melee because I'm still in it.
Yep. Are you using your action to put out the flames?
Seems like a really bad idea to do that, even though it's possibly going to cause issues what I want to do next.
Alright.
But for the moment, we're going to say no, even though I might regret that.
You are going to take 5 more points of fire damage this turn.
Yep, this is why, ouch, I'm already down a fair bit of health. Alright. Well, we have a summoned creature, and I have a very effective and easy solution for dealing with summoned creatures.
Alright.
I take out the Scroll of Banishment,
Okay.
and I am going to attempt to banish the Fire Elemental.
Alright. Your spell save DC is
18, and it needs to make a Charisma saving throw.
For some reason, charisma is always negatives for these things.
Yeah.
He rolled a 10. -2. He goes away.
Alright, so I send the a whirlpool of magic up at him, and when it clears, he's gone. And I had that same band of runes of water around my wrist like the last time. So I'm maintaining concentration on banishment for the moment, but I'm also on fire.
Yes.
So
I do not know when you take the damage. Whether
I think it's at the start of my turn, if I remember correctly.
Right.
I can bring up the stat log here. 1 second.
Yeah, I didn't write that part down. I didn't think it would come up.
Start of each of my turns, yeah.
Okay, so you've already taken the damage.
Yep.
You're now concentrating.
I am concentrating on banishment. The scroll is gone.
Yep.
That was the scroll I had difficulty making, and cannot replace now because I don't have the materials for it. And that is basically my turn.
You hear a bunch more screeches.
Actually, wait, there was one thing I can do first.
Okay.
I can drink the refilling healing potion.
Yeah, you do that. And while you're doing so, you notice the crowd is really beginning to thin out fast now because this is not going anywhere near the way things normally go.
Oh, I gained back 9 hit points from that.
Cool. So they are all fleeing, except for a few.
except for the handful who presume they're going to support this guy. How'd he react to me banishing his elemental?
Let's find out. You see a picture of a guy
Mhm.
holding his rod up still.
Yeah.
And now his mouth is open.
I'm going to take that to assume
He
that
doesn't
that was his biggest trick he had up his sleeve.
he doesn't know what to do because
Yeah.
this has never happened before. So he's just standing there with his urine-soaked trousers,
Yep.
his trembling hands.
I think it's his turn, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You're looking at someone who just simply cannot understand what has happened.
Yes.
So while he's standing there like that, I walk over to him
Yeah. Take the rod away.
and take out my magic dagger and I hold it gently to his throat. I reach out and I take the rod
Yeah.
and say, "Sit."
Oh, I point with my hand that still has the ring of magic energy from my banishment spell being maintained over at the guard who's hanging onto the rope holding the girl. It says, "Let her go if you want to live."
All right. Okay. Scepter guy sits.
Yeah.
All right. What are you going to do? Because you are what you are. He's far away, but he's seen everything that's happened.
Yeah.
All right. Most of this crowd's gone now.
Yeah.
There's a couple of stragglers. They're all backing away anyway. Oh, you have a dude sitting down here.
Yep.
You got you on fire, standing
Yes.
roughly about
I'm
here.
still on fire until my next turn comes out, which I can pat it out.
Yeah, you're gonna need a concentration check, by the way.
I will. Yes, I know.
This is still flaming. The dude over here does let go of the girl,
Mhm.
but he runs this way.
Ah, he's possibly going to get reinforcements.
So we go to the top of the round, which was me. My action was already taken up
Yeah.
anyway.
So we come to me now, and I need to take. So you need to roll fire damage.
Yes, I will roll fire damage. You need to roll a concentration check.
The good news is it's going to be 10 because
Yeah,
the max you can roll is 10.
I rolled 7.
All right, I'm glad I drank that potion now. All right, I'm going to use one of my portents, which isn't very good,
Yep.
but it gets me to 12 for the concentration check.
All right.
And I
Put
put
up,
out the flames.
yeah, put up the flames, please.
Yeah,
What is your current hit point total?
62.
Wow.
Yep.
Good thing we got all those extra potions.
I drunk one of them already. Well, my refilling one.
Yeah. At this point, we are basically almost by ourselves
Yep.
in this, well, we'll call it the town square.
I'm gonna go over to the girl.
Yep.
Yeah, take out my dagger and I'm gonna cut her free from that.
Okay. When she was released, and very, she's shell shocked.
Yes.
Um, you take out your dagger. Oh, wow. She seems to think that
I
you're,
did just,
yep,
yeah,
I know. She,
go to great lengths to save her life.
yep, she actually uh, is fairly intelligent and has understood and turns around and lets you cut her bonds.
Yeah, obviously, if I wanted her dead, I would have done nothing.
Yeah, like I said, I had a roll for it though,
Yeah,
because she's been through a lot. She's watched her sister burn to death yesterday.
yeah.
So, anything you want to tell her?
It says, I'll say, your sister sent, your sister is still watching after. uh, after you and sent us to help.
She's crying.
Yeah, I'm just putting my hand on her shoulder as I say that. You're safe now. Well, for the moment.
Yeah, she still lives in this village.
Yeah, well, we could easily get her out of here now.
Yes.
But I think we should see what's going on with this temple first.
Yep. All right. I think you come back to me.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to basically bring her along too for the moment. Like, because I
I've
think she's safer
asked
with us.
I've asked Buddy Boy there um, how to operate the staff, and I've turned the flames off.
Mhm.
Things are a bit more normal
Yeah,
here.
my spell is still going for the moment, I assume.
By the time all you talk to her and you come back,
The minute will have passed and the elemental's gone.
yes, you don't have to
Right.
worry about that anymore.
That's good.
Okay.
A fire elemental in this village could cause a lot of damage.
Yeah. You can burn the whole place down,
Yep.
except the church.
Except and the summoner. Well, actually, no, even them possibly.
Yeah. All right. In short order,
Yeah.
you figure out what's been going on in this town because he has learned a bit of respect for us because, you know,
We hold his life in our palm.
yeah, literally. So, the story is this town was under the control of the Clockwork Soul.
Was under the control informally.
Yes, they left.
All right, that's new.
Well, there was a sorcerer here.
All right, well, at least the very least they can tell the difference between the fact that the court isn't actually are not actually gods. Then they're posing
No,
as them.
they don't actually understand that. They understand that they were subservient to this court,
Yeah.
and then the uh, oh, the sorcerer, from their perspective, their lord and protector, their god,
Mhm.
uh, left. No
Yes,
reasoning.
that is unusual. They usually at least give reason. And it's also unusual for the court to leave. Well, a village like this they've occupied.
Yep. I'd like an insight check, please.
He might be lying. Well, if he is, I don't know if a 12 is going to be sufficient to see through it.
He seems to be truthful.
Right.
At this point, you hear a scream.
Who is screaming?
You're not sure, but it's coming from the direction of the church, and it was a masculine scream, if that means anything.
All right. Well, someone did run off in that direction.
Yep. And you see a flicker of understanding from our captive here.
All right. Well, I clearly noticed that.
Yes.
Explain.
Says no one goes in there and comes out alive.
All right.
We are forbidden.
Well, clearly that means we have to go in there.
We are forbidden from entering there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm certainly not going to be listening to what the court has to say on that matter, on that subject. However, probably would be a good idea to go in cautiously. And obviously, we have to go in there and find out what's going on.
What are we gonna do with this guy?
Well, I'm tempted to bring him with us, but I don't think he knows anything what's in there.
That's my first thought. I was wondering if you're gonna go in the same direction. Let's just bring him along.
Well, the main point of doing that would be is if he understands the layout of the temple at all and could act as, helping us in our investigation, which I don't think he can, though. The other question is, what do we do with the girl?
Yes, we are in a bit of a quandary here because we can't trust anyone here with her.
No. And I suspect she's not going to want to come with us.
Into the temple? Oh,
Yeah.
good God, no. As bad as these people are,
Mhm.
the court was worse.
Yes, I know. That is a bit of a quandary. We could stick her in your hut, but again, you have to stay there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to split the party up, we can do
Yeah, no, I
that.
don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, no, that's probably a very bad idea. Hmm. Well, we could take her back to her house and we could leave some protection there with her.
We can leave familiars if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I could also set up an alarm.
Yeah.
I want to bring this guy along too for the time being as we head over there.
Okay. Our house is easy to find.
Yeah. Well, despite everything, I assume she's fine staying in her house for the time being. Like,
Well, when we get there,
mhm.
you see a very tearful old lady who all of a sudden is just doesn't know what to say, but is ever so thrilled that her granddaughter
Yeah.
is alive. So
Yes.
runs up and hugs her. There's a whole pile of crying. And yeah, um, yeah, she can stay here, of course, obviously. Uh,
Yes.
uh,
I'm going to have. I think we should have Tobias, so your owl,
mhm.
perch on top of this house.
Yep,
Stay on lookout
yep.
because I don't think he's going to be as useful inside in a closed building.
We will let them know that we need to go and check out.
Something. Yes.
Yep.
I'm. Before we go, I'm going to cast alarm on every single door leading into this house. I'm
Well,
going
that's
to
virtual
turn.
casting, I assume.
Yes.
So
Ritual cast. Yes.
that's going to be a fair amount of them. It's going to take a while.
That's fine.
Okay. 10 minutes each.
Yeah. Once that's done, I'm going to turn to this guy who's still with us.
Yep.
Say, if anyone attempts to try this again with that poor girl, I will know. And who, regardless of who tries it, I will hold you personally responsible for it. And I assure you, as horrible as the court can be, you will not you will not find me any more pleasant at that point.
Oh, come on. Let's bring him with us.
That's your response. He
Yeah.
might actually start warming to me. What use is he going to be? What practical purpose is there in that?
You can walk ahead, trip the traps, and get killed. At least they will know where they are. And yes, I know I'm the good aligned person.
All right, first of all, I don't think that matters at this point. These people have proven themselves to be pretty disgusting. But my point is, how are we going to coerce him into doing that? We can't charm him. We cannot dominate him.
No,
We
I can
can't.
just we can just push him around. All right.
This serves a purpose here. He now realizes that he needs to keep her and her grandmother safe. Otherwise, I'm going to come back and deal with him.
All right, fine. So you're lucky that he's here because I'd feed you to whatever evil devices that the court has left behind in that building. And by the way, we will be coming back. And if she is harmed,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
said I'm holding him personally responsible.
yeah, we're gonna strap you to that pole and turn it back on because I have the device now that does that.
Anyway, a series of more intimidation checks later,
Yeah,
I
we're
assume.
rolling them.
Yeah. All right. As we're
And
heading towards the temple, I'm going to cast Mage Armor now.
all right, you cast mage armor.
Yeah. And I'm going to drink one of the new potions already
All right.
because that was
This
brutal. I assume this is the
this is a bit more of a close up of the building. There is a main entrance. assume that that's where the other guy ran in.
All right. The potion heals me 15 hit points.
All right. So you're at 77.
Yes. All right. So we don't see an obvious body at this point, I assume.
All right. As oh, sorry, I'll go back here. We come out from where we came from down this street, went around, and now we're looking in this way.
Yeah.
We're standing roughly here,
Yes.
and we notice, well, first off, the there's a two metal doors that are closed, not open.
All right.
There's nobody, no.
I assume there's no body outside. Presumably they open then.
Most
Is
likely.
this temple design layout accurate? Um, so there's an open area.
I flew over so I can report to you that yes, there
Yeah.
seems to be a central area here that is a courtyard.
All right. Well, let's go up to the door and see if they have to open somehow.
Yep.
There's no body in here. He
No.
was taken inside.
Yep. Door is currently closed. And I would like an investigation check with
Yeah, I'm
advantage.
going to look for a lever or a latch or a seam or something.
Okay.
Do I have resistance?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that is the total of 25.
All right. You find no method of egress, or I should say, sorry, my problem. Ingress. There is no levers, no latches. There is a fairly complicated mechanism, though, that you think is a lock.
All right. And this is some sort of mechanical mechanism, I assume.
There does seem to be a sequence that needs to be adjusted.
All right. We've not dealt with the Clockwork Soul too much, and the ones that we did deal with, we dealt with relatively quickly.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
Yeah.
This
I think
will,
we're getting to look at what they can do when they've set up roots in places.
yes, and yes, this building has been here for a while.
Yeah. Well, we aren't too far from Ulrich's.
No, and we are also heading towards where we think the Clockwork has their facility set up.
Well, at least some branch of the court does. But yes, they do seem the most likely to have some sort of whatever it is, Dracomir.
Yeah. So,
Well, this also means that the positioning of Vern's Run was just adding more to their little expanding empire.
oh yeah, they
Yeah.
were doing rather well until they met us.
Yes. Well, let's hopefully that continues that way.
All right, what do you want to do?
So I take it from that role, I have no idea really how to open this door apart from entering some sequence that I don't know.
You could try picking the lock, which is basically translated into entering a sequence. Yes.
All right, I guess I'll try and pick the lock. I don't have sleight of hand.
Go for it.
So that's five, assuming it's dexterity.
He said five.
Five.
Oh, you have no idea how to open this thing.
Yeah. I have a scroll of knock.
Yes, you do.
I could use that.
Yes, you could.
Well, nothing, no horrible traps triggered by the looks of it.
You didn't search for any, but yes, nothing got triggered by you fiddling with this. We have two options at this point. You can use your knock scroll to go through this door,
Yeah.
or we can go over the walls.
Yeah. Well, I think the scroll is a more acceptable loss at this point because I can replace it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll take out the scroll of knock, read it, and I'm going to magically unlock the door.
Yep. You cast the spell. And instead of a resounding boom that you can hear from hundreds of feet away, all you hear is the tumblers spinning,
Yeah.
and then click, and the door opens up.
All right.
You see this courtyard, and there actually is stone flaggings. There seems to be some form of circle in the middle of it, and a symbol, and the symbol you recognize as the clockwork soul.
All right. Well, they've
Nothing else.
still no body.
No body.
Still no blood either.
Roll a perception check.
15.
You don't notice anything, no.
All right. Well, I say we should proceed with extreme caution. Who knows what deadly devices or other magical threats are set up in here.
I could go get him. I have no problem going to go get him.
I've noticed that, yes, but let's just go.
All right. I would like you to roll a perception check with advantage because all our eyes are peeled. Is Alice out?
Not for the moment.
There.
Pair of 16s. That's rare. I roll the same number. 23.
All right, that's high enough. As we enter, we get this is kind of like a overhang.
Mhm.
Once we get about underneath this pinnacle point here, the doors behind us close, and you hear a little bit of a whirl and a click. They are relocking.
All
And
right.
ahead, you're not certain because this is a perception check. You're not doing any investigating really, but you seem to see this circle seems to have a definitive line, and then there's a definitive center line.
Okay. What does that mean?
You're not certain. You can go and investigate if you like.
I will. I'll try to stay out of the circle while I investigate it.
All right, we approach. Roll an investigation check, please.
Yeah. That's another 23.
All right, you notice that this is the entire floor of this courtyard is a trap door.
Ah. Hopefully
And
I don't notice that as it opens up.
as you come to that conclusion, we, well, it now goes, and we go,
A massive stone door like the trap door like that would make a lot of noise, presumably.
no, it is very well hinged.
Yeah.
And with utter silence, besides us going, holy crap, we fall.
All right. Well,
I do,
Featherfall is on your spell list, not mine.
I do have Featherfall prepared if you would like me to do so.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I cast Featherfall.
Admittedly, this probably can't go down too far.
It does not. It goes down 20 feet.
Oh,
We go right here.
okay. We land
We land
softly, silently.
softly and silently.
Yes.
You do see that there is an occupant in this cage.
Is it the same guy from before?
Yes, he is there.
All right. He's
Yep.
alive. So, well, presumably that fall wasn't enough to actually be fatal.
He looks like his one of his limbs is really not in a best of shape because he yeah, a sprained or broken ankle.
Yeah. Do
He
I also
looks
see these suits of armor?
yeah, well, he also looks a little bit beat up. You do see two suits of armor, which are not kneeling like this because this is only graphic in
I
time.
understand, yes.
I would like you to roll an intelligence check.
Okay, that's a relatively low roll for me. 10.
That's enough.
Yeah.
We've we've seen them before.
So these
The,
are some sort of animated suits of armor.
these we recognize because we've seen them, and they
Oh,
are
presumably.
two helmed horrors.
Oh, these are the worst versions.
And we hear from the other room a clanking as another one comes in here.
Okay, so we have three helmed horrors. Okay, we did fight one of these before.
Yep.
From what I recall, they are, first of all, the only monster in the monster manual to immune to force damage, which means magic missile is going to do nothing to them.
And also, we recall they are immune to three specific spells
Three
each.
specific spells of the creator's choosing. Oh, and one other thing, remember, they can fly, because
Yep.
I forgot that initially when we first ran into them before.
And it's very funny because I had this planned out beforehand, uh, but this is going to be really amusing. The one that's coming in this way actually speaks. He notices difference in its structure a little bit. It is a helmed horror, but seems a little bit different. And you hear
I
nothing's
know it's
moving on this thing.
some sort of Captain Helm horror.
Yeah, you hear in a very tinny Starscream voice. Honestly, I had thought of that long before you had mentioned them today. Ah, good. More victims for my master.
Okay,
Surrender or die.
and I said, "Well, we're definitely not surrendering."
At which point we're going to go for initiative, and we'll go for our break too.
Okay, so we're gonna do our break first, and we'll roll for initiative when we come back.
We'll do the initiative now if you like.
Sure. Oh wow, I have a 21.
Ah, you're not loud.
I think I'm going first for once.
No, you said that. Now I'm going to roll a bunch of 20s for these guys.
Yeah, well, roll for yourself too.
Yep. Well, I'm not going first. I have an 11. You have a 21.
Yeah,
Oh,
are you all rolling them together?
no, no, no. They all have different things.
Okay.
All right, what do you got here? All right, the one that spoke and you are tied. So I would like a roll off here, please.
15.
You are not going first.
Ah, that's annoying. They so rarely roll that high for initiative.
Yep. All right, number two. Oh, I have to do a roll off with him. Oh, I got an actual 20. All right, never mind. I'm going before him. And the last guy has a natural one. Okay, that is all set.
So that's all set up, and we're gonna take our break, and I'll be right back.
Yes.